I definitely do. I mean, you look at what Ole Miss did. I thought Ole Miss last year was really good at taking care of business in the games that they should win, right? Now you can tell me A&M had a better roster or whatnot, but A&M was a dumpster fire last year. And then, like, to me, they were physically non-competitive in the Alabama and Georgia games, right? And it's okay. Like, that's kind of the bright line as far as the gap of the roster. And I know the Bama game was close for a little while, but I do think that had a little more to do with Bama's offense being not fully formed, I guess, shall we say, coming off the USF week. But now I like a lot of what they've done in the transfer portal. I'd let Judkins walk too, I think. Receiver for me on them was real interesting last year. It felt like they never could get healthy. Pre-scoring was dinged up, and then wasn't Trey Harris hurt as well? I'm going through my notes from the season.
He was.
They never get 100%. And then Dart, I felt like he looked hurt when I watched him play for parts of last year. And the O-line, I know, got dinged up. I mean, Georgia was one of my biggest bets of the year over Ole Miss, and I thought it was basically stealing because I thought Ole Miss's defense was a bit of a fraud. And when the right tackle went down, my preseason notes were like, man, Ole Miss, their depth on the O-line kind of sucked. So I figured Georgia would eat them alive, and they did. But, man, I like a lot of these moves they made. And Diego Pounds and Kalepo, those are nice gets. And there's no reason to think the receivers are going to be banged up again. I think Jackson Dart can play. Defensively, they're not worse. I think they're probably a little bit better, actually. So, I mean, maybe significantly better if Prinsley and Nolan can play to their ceiling. I don't see why they can't finish, top two in the SEC.